Hello everyone, Travis here for Tpull's Corner, and I made a deck called Prosthetic Statues because Magic covered levitating statue in front of me, and then when I got my final card for the night, it gave me yet another levitating statue, so I figured that was a signal that it wanted me to pay some love to the card. And it's been a minute since I made a colorless deck, so those are always fun. It's strange how Arena tries to point you towards alchemy and stuff. When you create a colorless deck, it defaults to these land cards, these generic colorless land cards, but they're not legal standard, so you have to go in and choose different lands because it won't let you save the deck with the lands that it gives you to start with. Prosthetic statue, because we have levitating statue. Flying artifact, whenever we cast a non-creature spell, put a counter on it, and then it becomes a 1/1 artifact creature for 2 mana until the end of the turn. And prosthetic comes from Prosthetic Injector. I put 4 of them into the deck. Gives us +2 to the toughness, and Toxic 1. So we kind of got a colorless poison deck. And my opponent has more than 100 cards, and it's turn 1. It's very difficult, so... Oh look, Crystal Grotto. Did Arena find me a mirror match already? That was quick. I think it's... No, that's too early for that. Let's put down the levitating statue. Aha. Patchwork Automaton. That can have the injector on it. It is. Look, it's a colorless land. Arena found me a mirror match who wanted nothing to do with me. Okay, the nice thing is I showed you what the deck's named after. I got dealt those in the opening hand. So that technically does show off the entire deck right there. Is my job done for the day? We'll go in and show you the whole thing. Okay, as I said, 4 copies of Prosthetic Injector. That's, I think, my only source of toxic in the entire deck. This, you might see 1 or 2 of these in a regular toxicity deck, but I thought it would be fun just to fool around with the idea of taking cards that are meant to be parasitic, that are meant only to be used with cards from the Phyrexian expansion, other toxic cards, and just throwing them somewhere else and seeing if they could still be useful. And here you can see they made them quit. So we do have 4 copies of the levitating statue, and I called the deck Prosthetic Statues. What else we have? We have a couple of Pithing Needles in case they have planeswalkers, so we can disable their planeswalkers. We've got 3 Urn of Godfires. For 6 mana, you can sacrifice it, destroy a creature or an enchantment. We've got 1 Mystic Skull that can give us mana of any color, or for 5 we can transform it into a 5/6. We've got 4 Patchwork Automatons. It's hard to do a colorless artifact creature deck and not have these automatons. They're so useful. They get +1 every time you cast an artifact spell, and that's all we have in this deck. Prophetic Prism, it replaces itself, enters the battlefield, you draw a card. And if you want, again, if we wanted more colors, we could add 1 mana of any color. Suspicious Bookcase, so our creature can't be blocked this turn for 3. So if we got somebody equipped with the injector, we can go get some poison on them real quick. It doesn't matter the damage we do. We've got 1 copy of Stonebrain just for funsies to take away if we think they might have a problematic card. 4 Circuit Menders that gain 2 life when you enter the battlefield, and when you leave, you draw a card. 1 Foreboding Statue. When you tap it 3 times, then it transforms into the 5/5 Forsaken Thresher you see to the right. We've got 1 Mirror Custodian that can scry 2 and when it enters, but your opponent also gets to scry. 1 Realm Breaker, just to have them mill their cards and we'll get their land. I've got a couple of swords. Sword of Forge and Frontier. You equip it for 2, the equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from red and green, while the Sword of Once and Future has protection from blue and black, and they each have different qualities to them. 1 Stasis Coffin, you can exile it, gain protection from everything until your next turn. and 1 Rib Skiff. It's an artifact vehicle. You have to crew it for 3. It also has Toxic, so when it enters the battlefield, you draw a card. And rounding it off, we have 3 Might Stone and Weak Stones, and we have 1 Invasion of Ravnica to exile the target non-permanent and opponent controls that isn't exactly 2 colors. We've got a lot of specialty lands. We've got 4 Crystal Grottos to scry. We've got a couple of Blast Zones that we can put charge counters on. A couple of Demolition Fields and Field of Runes to destroy target non-basic lands of theirs. 1 Hall of Tagsin to create tapped Power Stone tokens. A couple of Myrics to create Phyrexian Mites that also have Toxic. A couple of Mishra's Foundries. Roadside Reliquaries. If we control an artifact, we can sacrifice this and draw a card. We've got 1 Mycosynth Gardens. It becomes a copy of a non-token artifact you control with mana value X. And 2 Seed Cores. Target 1/1 creature gets +2/+1 until end of turn if the opponent ends up with 3 or more poison counters. So a little bit more focusing in on the poison theme in a way that I haven't seen anybody do yet. We've already got a playlist, a Toxic playlist. So if you're new, first of all, if you're new, please subscribe. But if you are new and you want to see a handful of different Toxic decks, you can find the playlist on my YouTube channel. And we'll probably add this to it. And I'm not sure how this will do compared to the others, because I was really focusing on Levitating Statue, but I kind of mashed it up with a Toxic concept as well along the way. And it was very scary to my first opponent. Let's see what happens to Grave Logic here. Feast of the Victorious Dead. If one or more died, you gain that Might's life. Okay. Let's put out the Patchwork Automaton and get started growing that puppy. And I think Stone Brain is good to put out. And Urn of Godfire is good to put out. And then we just attack. It's looking at my stuff. It don't like my stuff. This looks like a Life King type of deck. Yep, there's some life right there. Let's go do something here. We've got to wait for the machine to catch up with me, or if Grave Logic is somehow holding up priority, we've got to wait for them to. I think it's just the machine that we're waiting for it to resolve. There we go. We want to do Shieldred's Edict, because that can make me sacrifice creatures. It's a good way for them to get around things. And it's a good way for us to look and see what we got. Oh, Planeswalkers, things that are tough to exile, board wipes. Okay. So we whiffed on that. And if they use Path of Peril, they can still destroy things. For the most part, I just need 5 energy to get down Mightstone and Weakstone. And let's see, what do we have? Return, return, flying. I think that's okay to block. They gain some life from it. I'm going to transform that puppy. Yeah, that's a problem for us, isn't it? Are you kidding me? What in the world? You got Rite of Oblivion. Okay, they didn't get land. I was gonna say, they've got some decent stuff here, and they've got a 4/6. They could just block for a while, and this is a nice build-up with their life gain. All they need is a couple more lands. I guess they just weren't willing to wait for the lands. It's hard to blame them. If you only get 2 lands and you go a couple of turns without getting anything else, it can be extremely frustrating. I wonder how many of those I have by now. I haven't really made a good Convoke deck yet. I've been tinkering around with those cards, onesies, twosies, but I haven't made like a Convoke-centric deck. Yeah, I mean, it's either land problems or, you know, people are afraid of colorless decks. These have been very short matches so far. I think I have to take that, right? That's got 2 copies of both of my concepts. I think it's illegal for me to mulligan that. Blast Zone! Prosthetic Injector! Maybe I should have waited to pump up the Petric Automaton more. Ooh. Mama likes. 2 up front? Yes, please. Pump up the 1, pump up the 2. Hope they don't have a board wipe. Oh, you're kidding me. 3 statues and 3 automatons. You have to chump block at this point, right? Scry 2. Oh, this is funny. I'm sort of going to win by the fact that I was able to cast all of my core concept, but they're not the ones doing the actual work. They're just kind of the supporting role here. That's just beautiful. Yeah, that's kind of a perfect hand, isn't it? Arena likes me today for some reason. And what it could be is just, I've literally never seen a deck like this before. It hadn't occurred to me until I was looking at Levitating Statue, what kind of deck would I like to make? There's a couple of choices that you could do, but if you do non-creature spells, you could do like a red-blue Izzet deck, you could do just a mono-blue deck with some artifacts, or you can do all artifacts. I mean, there are a large number of choices. You could maybe shoehorn Levitating Statue into a black-white deck even. It fits in a lot of places as long as you have a lot of instants and sorceries that you're doing. But you don't see a lot of completely colorless decks, so I'm always kind of having fun if I can make one. Levitating Statue to the rescue. Ooh, Petric Automaton. And Prosthetic Injector. Can't pay the ward cost to get rid of that. If they have an Abrade, red usually carries 1 or 2 Abrades. And we're back to just needing 5 lands again. The opponent sized up the entire area. Science Man here. And that's a double strike, right? Yeah. Pass. They could take me out if they double block. I don't want to lose the automaton. Not if I can help it. If I get the toughness up high enough, it would still be vulnerable to an abrade when they get enough land, but yeah, 6 points. Gross. We're going to get one more counter on their creature, which is not good for the double strike. I'm going to have to start chump blocking with my levitating statues. They could kill me if they had like a +3 to power spell. I wonder if they have like an untap spell. Are they not going to use anything? They don't miss a land drop. If they have removal, I'm in trouble because I only have enough ability to activate one of these. Oh, that's a gross card, isn't it? Wonder Twin Powers activate! Shape of a levitating statue. Oh, they killed my statue. Big meanies. Let's see. Protection from blue and black. Precisely the wrong colors. Just letting it through. I have to keep all of my energy free to activate both levitating statues now. And I really need one more land drop if I'm going to win this. Actually, they got me if they got an abrade or a removal too. It's just a case of they got 5. How are they able to do 6? Oh, they was hello. Oh, that's not good. 7-4. You got Elspeth Smite. 3 energy. Okay, so they can play that, so I actually have to activate this one because it's the only thing that can withstand Elspeth's Smite. This one was not going to be enough. So since they have double strike, they can cast Elspeth Smite now. This would have been a good way to cancel that one out, but now I don't have that option. And it gets exiled. And so they still have 2 creatures. And no matter what I do, I need 1 more land. Even if I'm going to play this and equip it or play the Might Stone and Weak Stone. And I'm hoping they don't have another cheap creature to put out there. They can't kill this with just 3. Thank you. Thank you. Was that really so much to ask? What can you do? What can you do? I got 6 damage points. They couldn't stop it. They knew I was going to do the -5/-5 on Nahiri. And the casting of the artifact bumped me up to 6, which was just enough for lethal. So we just squeaked it in. I haven't got to win by poison yet, but I don't think that matters too much. We'll play one more. I think, what is that, like 4 wins or something? We're 100% right now. At some point, Arena's going to have to make us lose. But yeah, so far I'm liking the deck. Our opponent is Fernando. Our opponent goes first. What nonsense is this? Who allows these things? Look at those cards. Look at all those cards. Roadside Reliquary. That's fine. And you notice no Patchwork Automatons. This is the most expensive, in case you're wondering why I'm getting a Might Stone and a Weak Stone at the beginning of every hand, it's because it's my most powerful card. That's what Magic does to you. Okay, there's a Patchwork Automaton. And how do we stop this? Realmbreaker, I guess. Let's do another one of these. Why are they pausing so much? Yeah, let's do this. Wandering Emperor. Then we attack with this puppy. That way, if that's what was holding up priority, it won't do you any good. Yeah. Okay. Did that wrong. Supposed to do the Padrock Automaton first. Oh, they're afraid of the automaton, aren't they? They're not afraid of anything else, just the automatons. I don't think I can mill them out. I think there's too many cards. But we can get some land. Third Circuit Mender comes down. Getting back the life we just lost. Go ahead and use this guy now. Attack with those two. They've got more removal. They're not willing to use it. Gross. All right. Oh, I put it in the wrong thing. I was not even looking. What do we get rid of? Another adversary, another removal, another removal. Okay. Fine. Another one. They've got a lot of removal type things, don't they? They've got 3 of them? How can they have exactly what they need? Why doesn't that transform? If there are 3 more... Oh, okay. Well, we're messing up all over the place. What can we do? I got nothing on the land. I do have something that can block in the air. No, I don't. They are ready. They have exactly everything they need. And there's nothing left for me, really. Hey, look, a lifelink deck beat a toxic deck. We can activate this puppy. And what else do you have? Arena really wants me to lose this one, don't they? What else do you... Oh, no, they're going to allow that. Can I... Oh, I can't sacrifice that one. Oh, it tapped all my stuff that I could draw to do extra cards. I could mill something. It's just no good. They had 3 of the frozen and imprisonment type things while I was busy getting rid of their other removal cards, any of which would have worked. They just had the entire deck was stacked with 2-mana removal spells. Let's look at this. We got Sigarda's Imprisonment was 3, but 2 Realm Breaker's Grasp, so 3 immobilization spells, and 1, 2, 3, 4 removals. So easily half of every spell that they had was some sort of incapacitation or removal spell, and only 2 or 3 mana. So they could do 2 at a time. Isn't that interesting? Massive number of cards. They got everything cheap they needed to kill me quickly before I could build up. Or maybe I misplayed that. I was trying to save the Might Stone and Weak Stone for something, but you know they had the hexproof spell, so they could have been sitting on that from turn 1. So maybe I just didn't have a chance. But that's the deck. You know, maybe you don't need Stone Brain. Sometimes you hit something at a guess and you're fun and you get it out. I do think, just in case you run up against Planeswalkers, I do think it's good to have at least 1 Pithing Needle in this particular deck, because we don't have a lot of removal. I got 3 of the Might Stone and Weak Stones to do -5/-5. Got 1 Invasion of Ravnica to exile a target non-land permanent. And that's about it, right? So that's not a lot of removal or interaction. We do have the Urn of Godfires if we last long enough later that we could destroy a target creature or enchantment. And maybe I was supposed to have used that earlier as well. So yeah, it's possible I misplayed on that last one. But I still kind of like the deck. Maybe you don't need 4 prosthetic injectors, but they are really cheap, so they work at pumping up the patchwork automatons really fast. So overall, I'm not sure what I would change in any of this. I haven't done a mirror tribal deck. I'm not sure if that's something that can be effective. But I liked using all of my abnormal, non-basic lands all thrown together in one bunch. But why don't you all let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.